Amazing evening, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Updates with Precious. Sincere apologies for starting a bit late. I have quite a lot to do recently, and I've just been a bit swamped, but welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to bring you all the things that happen from inside our country. My name is Precious Inye, so I don't give a quick update. We carry plenty of the headlines to read them when they happen from inside the country today. But make I just go straight to some other matter than when they happen for inside the country. As I don't bring on a headline, we no focus on most of those headlines again. We just focus on a few more things that they happen. Did I tell you that there was Ondo State residents come out to the protest, then block roads, say nobody they pass Ondo State because insecurity don't too much. They just they keep people anyhow for Ondo State. Then kill another person just near in house again. No. They say they no go fit take that one again. But guess what? Instead of tackle the insecurity, their governor don't come and they caution communities with the protest. Come, be careful if you're protesting. Be careful. I did not say you should not protest, but be careful if you caution everybody protest. People are saying that you're the chief security officer of the state. Should you not take responsibility for their security instead of cautioning them? If all were well, would they come out to protest? That's my question. Where we see people they ask, and people don't even vex more. Say, how would they protest it? Would they die like chicken for inside the state? But instead of you, our chief security officer, to control or take up your responsibility and ensure our safety, because it's sworn an oath to protect the lives and citizens or people of Ondo State. Instead, you they caution the communities the way we say they protest. As you don't caution the communities when inside a current of local government area with the protest over the insecurity challenges, while it admonish the community leaders and their traditional rulers to rein in their youth. That is, talk to your youth, talk to them. All those ones engaging in criminal activities. And yet it was stressed that such protests could easily be hijacked by hoodlums. So I'm tired. I'm sorry. So your fear is so that your opposition members would not hire hoodlums to hijack the protests, that they are protesting genuinely for their lives. So you rather tell them to shut up and stay in their houses and be dying than for them to tell you their grievance, to tell you how they feel, and for you to act about on it. So you go rather be them shut up, just keep quiet, no talk. Oh, Jerry. First of all, Nnamdi Azikiwe students today protested, and the University of Nnamdi Azikiwe students protested. They said, nursing students, they said, how can you increase a salary from 90,000 naira all the way to 580,000? I tell Onana, say from when Ogatinubu coming in May 2023, around November, December 2023, tertiary institutions for Nigeria begin to increase their tuition fees. And I tell you that, so this one, Nana, for the nursing, School of Nursing. So make I just give you excerpt of the conversation before I show you their protest. Students of Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, School of Nursing in the Nnewi, Anambra State, staged a protest on Tuesday, today, following a sudden increase in their school fees. They say tuition fee for 2025-2026 academic session jumped from 90,000 naira to 580,000 naira. I don't even know if we're reasoning in this country. Shift them from 90 to 100 or 120 maximum, or even 150,000 to 580. How many families could get their children to school paying the school fees? That's not the question. Now, the students gathered at the campus, holding placards and chanting slogans against the steep hike. Many said the increase is too high and that most of them cannot afford it under the current economic conditions. Now, the fee increase was announced in an internal memo dated, I think, 23rd of January 2026. The school announced, I'm explaining that the rise was necessary to improve facilities and cover increasing operational costs. Oh, they said the 555% hike has caused outrage among students and Nigerians who are already struggling with rising living costs and inflation in the country. Many describe the increase as unfair and excessive. And the protests reflects a wider problem in Nigeria's tertiary institutions, where annual inflation often exceeds 30%, making it harder for students to pay school fees. Or Tinubu say don't give an nail fund. So if an no fee pay because the fee them increase, we're gonna take nail fund use whole body. But let me quickly show you excerpt of that protest that he had earlier today. Take a listen.
We don't agree. We don't agree.
So they took the protests, had a new brief, a new something to see them, walking out of frustration and very bad. Well, as at the time of filing the report, you never hear anything from their school to acknowledge their plight or to even promise, say they would do anything about them. And of course, I never no official statement from the school management on the plight of the students. But let's go straight to Ondo State, where if you say Ondo people don't talk, say you don't do. We don't too die. Waiting happen, we will die like this. Because if you remember, I've almost back to back a few days where I don't bring you news. Ondo always did in the news for kidnappings over and over again. And they don't get them. They say they don't get them to the teeth. They don't want again. They cannot have this continue anymore. That's what they've been crying. So they protested. But then let's see very quickly. As says, residents of Ituabu in Akure North local government area of Ondo State, today Tuesday blocked Akure Owo Highway over alleged incessant killings and kidnappings in the area. Now, the protesters allege that one of the residents was killed on his farm by suspected gunmen on Tuesday morning, this early morning. He go farm, then kill him. They said they don't even feel go farm again because they're like saying a 50-50 chance to go farm now. Now, the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that residents, mostly youths, blocked the flow of traffic, leaving motorists stranded on the highway. And the protesters were carrying placards with various inscriptions such as "We are dying, save our soul. Mr. Governor, please assist us. Our children are in danger and we cannot go to farms again," amongst other placards or write-ups in their placards. Now, one of the residents who identified himself not go to their farms due to incessant kidnappings and killings in the area. The protesters appealed to the government to help them address the insecurity ravaging the area. He said, "We will not leave here unless Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa comes to address us because we can no longer go to our farms anymore because of insecurity." Now, addressing the protesters, Mr. Adibowale Lawal, the Commissioner of Police in the state, appealed to them to allow free vehicle movement, but was rebuffed. Lawal assured the residents that the security agencies, including the Amotekun Corps and the police, would ensure the safety of lives and property. I'm coming and building to a story, which I'm building to the core of my conversation tonight because it's very important to pay attention to what I want to talk about tonight. See, you don't reach point to be like say, I don't know, won't reach that point. Now, the CP, the Commissioner of Police, promised to deploy additional policemen and tactical units to address the insecurity and assure that police operatives, along with other security agencies, could or would rather beef up security in the communities. So that's what he promised them. However, the governor on his own now, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, when they say they need them to come address them, don't express displeasure, unhappiness over the protest embarked upon by residents of some communities in Akure North local government area. Say, what's on the protest for? They tell community leaders, come back on a hold on our children because gang and criminals will come hijack this protest anytime now. You can't talk to something else.
Now, the governor disclosed that he discloses why with stakeholders and leaders of the Miyetti Allah. He was with Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in his office in Akure, the state capital, amid the incessant killings and abductions. Now, residents, particularly youth of Ilua Abo and other neighboring communities, had protested during the meeting. One maintained that the youth had initially agreed to suspend the protest after security agencies intervened, but the demonstration was later taken over again by unknown persons. So now we to make it seem they stop them. Now, this is why we always tell people that protest should not be first line of action. When you start it, you don't know who is who again. Now, so you talk. So we never know the outcome of the meeting where you don't get when we yeti Allah for inside the place. So I'm going to look at some of those protests where you busy happen. So you see, I've got block behind you. That's the expressway here. I would run you through the event which happened before the blood pressure. All right, so just before they come protest this protest where they say like this, let me tell you what happened. This now waiting happen when they say they see somebody wake up this morning, then go to carry the body, then quickly cover the body up, carry them, call ambulance, of course, to go deposit them for inside morgue. This will make them vex. Jesus. However, they didn't show. You just see that they are carrying someone, but because the case of the death did not show. Tí wọ́n bá jáde báyìí kí ni civilian lè ṣe? Ṣé anybody ní ìbọn tí wọ́n ṣe anything? So they are not making it safe for everybody in the country. Kí làwọn civilian lè ṣe? Ìròyìn ìfẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ yìí. Ìṣiṣẹ́ ìbojú wọn dúdú. Náà dárí jù. All right. So when I don't see the video, see the way they use identify the man body, and I mean they just get the call this early morning. Somebody go farm, they don't attack them for a farm, and wait to make then go carry the body. So then they come out now convex. It's enough. We've died too much, so we're protesting to the government. Enough of the death. Now the big question I say, who be the people who they commit this havoc? Who be the people who they kill innocent Nigerians like this? Who be the people who don't pose this kind of fear for Nigerians, who make them no even fit go their farms again? Who be the people who don't do these things? Who be the people who they responsible for this action? Who them be? Where them be? Waiting be the problem? What is their demand? What is their anger? That might be the question where a lot of people ask. Earlier today, Sheikh Gumi, Islamic cleric Ahmed Gumi, claimed that the Tinubu government knows the identities and location of terrorists operating in the country, and that he visits them for negotiations with the backing of the security agencies. Saying they do them by himself. Gumi made a remark while speaking about his controversial engagements with armed groups in Nigeria, insisting that the meeting with them are not conducted independently, but with knowledge and involvement of security agencies. Say, no there any criminal element anywhere for inside this country with government, no. So all the terrorists, one by one, government not just know them, they know their names, they know their houses, they know where they stay, they know how to get them. So if this is the case, what is going on? Is it that the government just deliberately keeps quiet and allow Nigerians to just die anyhow? That's not a question. If it is possible, say na so because um, I mean, Shawore incidentally agreed with Shegumi that it is true. In fact, Shawore talks say, ain't not there anybody who they commit any crime for Nigeria will be safe federal government. No, no. Well, let's quickly take a listen to Shegumi say that. Just come with me or work with me so that I will fit put on a through to drive you home to where EBC are they go right now because the distance they a bit corner,
sir.
or just follow.
Well, a lot of people have seen you in clips and pictures with this terrorist where you know where they are. We've communicated with them. You've even as far as negotiating with them, you know. So a lot of people believe that since you have, this the knowledge about all this, is it that the government does not have the power or the equipment to know where these terrorists are to tackle insecurity?
The government knows every terrorist by name and by location. I don't go yellow. I don't go to the terrorists alone. I call the police, I call the security, everybody. I will go to the MES or that place. In fact, when we went to one terrorist, I went even with women with me. To the bush. When you didn't see it because the camera was not concentrated on it. I don't go hello.
So you hear what Shigome talk. Say it need go alone. Say the government know every terrorist by name. I'll play you Shaori's corroboration of this remark. But however, before I play them to you, make I play you what happened earlier today, where it be say Sheikh Sat Guru Maharaji. Name the people them according to in Revelation where it be say they sponsor terrorists for Nigeria. This particular list don't raise a lot of controversy. People say, excuse me, did you just name a faction of the terrorists and leave the other faction, or you name all of them together? Make you watch that video. He spoke in Yoruba language too. Take a listen.
wọn ò lágbára kankan ṣé ẹsẹ̀ kan nìyẹn ẹsẹ̀ kejì ni àwọn tí wọ́n fàìnáàsì wọn àwọn Malami El-Rufai àtẹgbẹ́ wọn Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá Amaechi Gumi Rotimi gbogbo wọn Rotimi Amaechi so wọn àgbọ̀ pé wọn á pè wọn jókòó ni ó ló ṣe jẹ́ tó lọ fún bandit ní credit card ó lọ fún wọn lówó pé kí wọ́n má ṣe yín kí wọ́n má múyàn mọ́ kí wọ́n má gbéyàn mọ́ ṣé irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n fún lówó ni èló ni discount ẹ gbà gbogbo wọn tẹ bá rí olè jíjà wọ́n pààyàn bí kan àwọn ará bíi ni wọ́n lu ọlọ́pàá owó dẹ̀ nítorí pé owó ló jọba ń sìn ibi tó owó bá ti dẹ̀ ti ń jọba kẹ́ ẹ rẹ́dí láti sá lọ ni torí èèyàn jẹ́ nǹkan kan lójú wọn mọ́ tó níìsí àwọn yẹn la máa mú àápè wọn jókòó àdẹ̀ṣàlàyé pé òfin máa ń bẹ ní Nàìjíríà báyìí pé àsìkò Buhari tó ẹgbẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ yín Buhari sọ pé òun lọ jókòó sí bọ́dà tí wọ́n bá ní kírí wọ́n bọ̀ sí Nìjẹ́rì rárá kò sí kankan lóbò lábẹ́ ọ̀run yìí ibi kí tọwọ́ ẹni tó bá ti náà máa ń bá aráàlú jà tó ń bá ìjọba jà ẹni ẹ̀tẹ́ á ṣe é ṣe bàbá mi gbogbo àwọn yẹn lókùú tá a bá ti mú wọn ní gbọ́n kankan wọn kò ní sí AK-47 mọ́.
Okay, so if you speak and understand Yoruba language, please kindly help me interpret what he said. Well, from the explanation that is made in the video, especially from the description in the video, you can see where he did state clearly that people they would sponsor. He called El-Rufai, he called Abubakar Malami, he called Rauf Aregbesola, he called Chibiki Rotimi Amaechi, Shegumi Boboe, say all of them, and them they and also, and then they sponsor terrorism. Now, a lot of people don't get problem with this list. People say, is it that it's because you just have to mention names of people that have to do with opposition? It's somebody, I don't know what your thought is, but this particular list don't raise a lot of controversy for inside social media. But that's not where I'm headed to. If it be say person like Sadhguru Maharaji, Goofy see these people them saying and them follow the sponsor terrorism. And then we don't get a Sheikh Gumi. We also don't talk, say, every single person we don't contribute for terrorism for Nigeria, that the federal government does not just know them by name, or they not just know them, but they know them by name and they know their addresses and they know where to find them. So if this is the case, why has it been very difficult for us to fight this menace? That is the question. If this is the case, why has it been so difficult? Why do we allow people to just die unnecessarily? Why EBC would they quiet to people dying unnecessarily? So these are the question. I just remember the video of P2B that he talked the other time. That take a listen to him. Take a listen
Cannot tell me today that anybody can say that somebody is kidnapped,
okay,
kept somewhere,
okay,
and they're using phone to negotiate with his family in this time and age. If he's sick, they even invite doctor to go and treat him, but police doesn't know where they are.
Say forget about it. Is it forget about it? If it happen, they possible. Say, so how possible is it that these kidnappers reign supreme? They reign supreme. They go about the activities so well. They kidnap in a coordinated movement. In fact, here what Shawari even get to talk. He even make the matter worse. For the first time, he agreed with Sheikh Abubakar Malami. Sheikh Gumi. Take a listen to what he said.
The federal government knows all these terrorists by their names, and he does not go alone to negotiate. He goes with the police, the military, and other security agencies. Yeah, what do you think about this? Because the federal government...
I've spoken about Sheikh Gumi before, and if you remember exactly what I said, that he's not a foolish man as people think he is. He's actually a smart person. He might be smart for different reasons, and he might be egregious in his ways. And I just told you what I always known. He's not telling you anything new. All these terrorists are in bed with people in government. Whenever there is mass kidnapping, why do you think that government is able to hear from the terrorists? Because they have their phone numbers. If they call one side, the one in Niger, those ones will give them the telephone number of the one in Katsina. They say, no, it's not us, it's our friends in Katsina that did it. That's how they know Gumi is not lying. There's no major terrorist and there's no major criminal in Nigeria that is not known to security agencies. But you even find kidnappers doing MCs at the children naming ceremony of police commissioners in Nigeria. They know themselves. They help themselves. I once told you last year that there's a guy who is into fraud that was given an office at the Nigeria Police Headquarters, one Jesha. So how he's not lying. They know all the terrorists. If they want to wipe out the terrorists today, they know where to get them and wipe them out. They know it. I'm not in government, and I'm not any of the security agencies, but I also know that government knows these terrorists. In fact, so many of the terrorists, they call up people in government when they are bored. They say, what's happening now? We haven't been allowing us to operate. We want you to leave some areas for us. So it's very true. He's not lying. And that is why we always say that government in this country is a crime. People in government, yes.
What is the reaction to the Nigerian spokesperson that trying to defend himself? He's trying to defend the government.
You see, it doesn't have to even be with the Al Jazeera guy. But the other thing that surprises me is that, are you expecting Bwala to be successful? All of you are asking us, so if Bwala had been able to present the case very well, would you give him a Nobel Prize? So everybody's making it sound like, oh, he failed. Well, if you...
Violence when dealing with this banditry.
See, on government speaks.
Okay. So, that's before I get back to this particular talk, ABC Shigube talk for inside here, let's address some of these things ABC Shawari talk. How is it that indeed we have a country like this. I was just going to let you know that was it not just yesterday that we lost a commanding officer, senior officer and commanding officer of the night. We lost 3 of them in the space of 2 weeks or thereabouts. 3 of them. This one, about the one we happened yesterday, senior officer and commanding officer in the Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Omar Farouk. He has been identified as one of those who were killed by Boko Haram during a fresh attack on a military base in Borno. During a fresh attack on a military, I'll get back and I'll play the video. In fact, just weeks before then, a bit days before then, they hail him as he gallantly, used defending people. This is what they were hailing him. Protecting these. That's what they were hailing him. That's how he died. So how is it that things like this happen and government is, after yesterday's interview with Mr. Arnold, it got me thinking, and I just started asking myself, what exactly is wrong with us in Nigeria? What exactly is wrong with this insecurity with the battle for Nigeria? What exactly they happen with this insecurity for inside Nigeria? We don't lose about 2 commanding officers in a space of 2 weeks, and we never get one single statement, one single statement from our president. In fact, when the president had the opportunity to talk, he mentioned another thing entirely, and he talk about, don't say he don't talk. He said, we're not going to tolerate military them reign supreme. We're not going to let them reign supreme under our watch. But beyond that talk, waiting be the practical steps to ensure the lives of people. See, your national security advisor don't talk. Say, are these people our brothers on the one hand? Your what did they call them? And our brothers. The army spokesperson don't open my talk. Say they still be our citizens, no matter what thing they do. So now we could embrace the amnesty. Amnesty, by the way, where Shigumi explained for that small clip I won't show now like that. Make gonna say. But beyond all of this, will not talk any practical steps. No condolences to the families of these people that we saw what Mike Arnold told us yesterday. How Donald Trump left where he was from at the 6 officers who visited in lose for this Iran war. As in bring their body come back, he leave waiting they do. Go welcome their body. He go welcome their body. We not even see any acknowledgement formal acknowledgement of this death and bad loss we be so we don't suffer. How it be say other people then go fit use they encouraged. Rather, people that we busy don't speak up one word or the other, would rather see them they clamped down. We not they let them talk complete. So now all of this, see, okay, I mean earlier today, this is what our president had to say. He they praise governors say
no governor in this country.
None of them they borrow money again to use pay salary. So it is better to spoon feed the governors, even though say the allocation, the federal allocation where the money they come from, not be free, now we think due them. But it is better to give them money and cause them to not to be creative on how to generate revenue for their states, and then we still cannot ensure the security of lives and property.
No governor in this country, in any of your states, is now running around the bank to borrow money to pay salary of their workers. None. My duty is further investment in agriculture, development, education of your children, so that I can hand over a better nation to them to see whether I've left an history for them to write and be proud of. It is my duty to do that. And only with your blessing, with your prayers, I'm sharing with you every moment of it tonight. Please continue that prayer.
All right, so a few things maybe say our president talk during that gathering say we do borrow money anymore, so they make sure say we dey fit pay salaries anymore. Can't talk say terrorism nobody reign supreme again for inside that country. So you know a few of the things where you don't talk, but people are still saying that that's not enough. What's be the practical steps to ensure say it stop? Now here is what Shegumi said in terms of when they asked him questions about sponsoring
also
of
said that the
terrorism,
federal government
terrorists,
Do
and
something.
all that. He had quite a few things to say about sponsorship of terrorism. In fact, he first defend the initiative. Say after all, not be Nigeria be the first country where they sponsor terrorism, and talk say other countries, including the United States, will be say they argue say the United States, other people then they don't also sponsor terrorism before in the past, and not be only Nigeria they sponsor terrorism. But there was also something he said. He did say that he will tell the terrorists to sheath their sword, to drop their arms, if only ESN, IPOB ESN will fit also drop their arms. So it now sounds like so it's up to him to decide when the terrorists can sheath their sword or not. Make you listen to that part of the interview.
Makes you rather this. They look at the audience it's speaking to. This we don't speak with terrorists, we don't speak with violent rebels. Usually it starts from America, but America is the first one that dialogue with the if there is any interest or benefits. We have seen them dialogue with Taliban, Israel and Hamas are in dialogue all over the world. IRA and United Kingdom were in dialogue. They had a war for a long time, and terrorism to bombs in London are there. They dialogue. So if dialogue can bring peace, we are men of peace. We want peace. Even IPOB, which wants secession, if we are ready to put down their arms, come to the round table and discuss even secession, I'm ready. I will support them. What we don't want is violence. So when government say it doesn't do something, it's different. When government say it's going to do something, it may not do it. When it say it doesn't do something, it may be doing it. Now people have this kind of mistrust. Not only Nigerian government, all over government, wherever they speak, you have a mistrust. But what they say, so they be. But essentially, what we are talking about is what is the way out of this nightmare of the security? There's a way out. Let intellectuals come in. Let's speak. Let's bring criminologists from prestigious institutions. Let's put everything on table and see the way out. What the experts are saying now in dealing with what we have in Nigeria, 75% of it should be one-kinetic. It was a nation where, look at the road network, terribly bad. Look at electricity. I've just seen how much solar system, solar panels we have over the years, The
Okay.
electricity is erratic.
So wait, electricity, bad road, and all that. Nango fit stop corruption. I do agree though, because we need to develop our country. But really, sorry, Nango fit stop terrorism. This and the reason we make them terrorize. Now only this particular group of people, they suffer this lack of infrastructure. Now only them. So why not them get to the cause havoc? They kill their fellow human beings. Why not them? Well, let's see.
And very expensive. Don't talk about healthcare. Anybody who has anything, if he's sick, our rich men, even with malaria, they go abroad. Don't talk about education. So with this kind of situation, don't talk about garbage everywhere. So what is working here? So in this kind of situation when nothing is working, is it pumping trillions and trillions of naira on defense? Is it the priority? Or spending that money in educating the society, bringing amenities close to the society? It will have a big impact in trying to curb the discrimination. That's the money you've used elsewhere. This is what we are saying. This is what we are telling the government. Use the money elsewhere. But if you keep giving the military, one governor was saying, or one opposition leader, before he became a governor, was saying, he found that the choicest houses in Abuja are owned by military officers. Why do they get not the money for? Because that's the money for security. So we want to break the cycle of this vicious over dependence on kinetic approach, which doesn't work. If you give them money, they go and buy houses.
So wait. So the money we were supposed to use a kinetic approach, that is to kill the criminals then. Did they use and buy houses? That is to say that money we BC would they give them to use buy ammunitions, buy arms, and all of that. Did they use and buy houses? Did they use them to better themselves? So there is no need. So that is why we need to focus on the non-kinetic. So because all the money we spend for kinetic measures, did they use and do another thing? So we could focus on non-kinetic. By non-kinetic, it means this thing, de-radicalization, reintegration, and whatever it is that we're doing, right? Now, but my question must say, how successful has this been? Not be this same DRR program, but we don't see a lot of these terrorists then going back and also becoming informants to their people against our military officers, where they cause the death of our military officers. No be them don't cause up. No be them be people who they follow the sabotage our military. No be them they cause up. That na wetin people they talk. So if na them they follow sabotage our military, then that means both the kinetic and non-kinetic don't fail us. Then what is the next option? Well, you cannot just tell us that the non-kinetic, the kinetic fail. Now the non-kinetic be the only option. That means your own, may they not even touch anybody we kill, may they no kill and back. May they just sorry for and leave them. Oh wow. Okay, let's go.
They go abroad. Why don't you use that money to alleviate the suffering of the people?
I agree.
Build good roads for them, build good schools for them, engage them, feed them, improve agriculture. That's the money. So in 3 years, we can calculate and see how much Nigeria is spending on express.
So basically what you're saying is, even if the government, decide to, start, attacking this banditry through violence, being that the system does not work, they won't really achieve, a good result.
One, we have to see the cause of the banditry itself. Violence bred banditry, and violence cannot cure it. How do you know that violence bred it? Because for us, as a medical doctor, there's something about psyche, is that whoever comes to you with a problem, anybody who comes with you try to diagnose it. First, you want to see whether it's an organic disease or psychological.
All right, let me just bore us
What I mean
with
by
let me not
organic, is
bore
he
us
having
with the
malaria? Is it
drama and the episodes we be say they talk about there. I wish I can talk more, play more of that, but we do not have the time. But all this just lead me to a podcast or an excerpt of a podcast by Eric Dean Prince, where Eric Dean Prince, so be say I see lately, and it just got me thinking because I just asked myself, wait a minute, how about if this thing he's saying is true? Because Eric Dean or Eric Prince will be the founder of Blackwater Private Military Company, and in co-host Mark Serrano, the media in a clip of their talk show or their podcast, what they call Off Leash podcast. One of the episodes, I think that was first published sometime in 2024, thereabout February 2024, where EB say, I see one of them, they talk something where EB say, shocked me. It's not like I'm shocked, but again, it just got me thinking. Now let's take a listen to this with an open mind. Let's listen to it with an open mind, and then
time for us to just put the, to just to put the imperial hat back on to say we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold
making
on a
their country
second. Hold on.
better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. Because if you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, the people of Africa, the people of Latin America, a lot of them deserve.
Okay. So now, are you, I mean, this is the bane of my conversation tonight, and I'd like to open the phone line very quickly so that all of us will feel jumping on them, because I like us to, deliberate on it. I like us to talk. Do you agree with Prince that Africans lack the capacity to govern themselves? As embarrassing, disgraceful, as shameful as it sounds, do you agree? It talk one thing about our government, say they corrupt, and this is not peculiar to Nigerian government alone. Government across, almost across Africa entirely. Now we talk about a government of a continent who will see say most of the politicians or leaders or their leadership be driven by greed. Excuse me, by greed and excessive use of power. Almost all the leaders for inside Africa, greed, their own. That thing where they say Igbo people do us, they can't do their own followers pro mass, pro max of waiting if say they say Igbo do us. So then, what do you think? Do you agree with Prince that indeed Africans lack the capacity to govern themselves? I mean, he's not the only one who said this before. Was he not PW both, William both, right? William both, the South African politician, who served as the Prime Minister of South Africa some time ago. He did say that, and he was made famous for that particular statement, where he did say that blacks lack the capacity to govern themselves. And people thought it was a pro-apartheid statement he made then. You understand? But looking at the things he said then, do we think it is true? Do we agree with him that it is true? Because if we see the way, our what do they call it? Our leaders are going about things. Is it the right way? A situation where it's still there, like say we still decolonized. It's still there, like say we still decolonized. Where if we say, yeah, okay. So where if we say, the leaders they see you as their people will be say, I mean, now them be the whites, now we be the subjects. That's exactly how the leaders, some people are saying that your leaders, the African leaders, see you. That's exactly what people are saying. A situation where it be say the money where they supposed to use govern you and make your places comfortable. Then they use them enrich themselves and their families. They carry the money, they go invest in foreign countries. Now, I know a lot of people will come with the interpretation that, oh, even the African leaders that have tried to do the right thing, they were killed for it, like Mugabe, like Gaddafi and the rest of them. Excuse me. One African leader at a time, then go figure sense to do the right thing. He won't tell me say if all African leaders then get African Union, then get ECOWAS like sub unions like ECOWAS. He won't tell me say if all the leaders then come together say no, we want to change with the support of their people. Are you trying to tell me that Oyibo people go still kill all of them? They go kill all African leaders, kill their people, then come govern us by force. Because people will tell you that, oh, these colonialists actually like us the way they are. They like the fact that we have leadership crisis in the first place. It's because they have leaders that are willing tools. If they don't have leaders that are willing tools, how possible is that? Every time I read that quote by William Botha, I shudder. It did make me vex when he said, Black people cannot rule themselves because they don't have the brain and mental capacity to govern a society. Give them guns, they will kill themselves. It talk more. Phone lines are open, Nigerians. Let me not just say all what I have to say. Let me make this very engaging. 0817029407, or you follow the link on the pin post and get straight into the studio. Now, see the situation we busy with the inside for Nigeria just before I open the phone lines. Instead of, I mean, Iraq has promised that they are going to help us to fight the insecurity. Good one. And people they say Iran rather. Iran, now won't help us fight insecurity. Wonderful one. But I came across a video this evening again, which just got me. I don't know if I'll say it got me crying, because I don't even know what is wrong with us in Africa, really. And there's a video of a man distributing 200 naira notes each, 200 naira notes. And so people they rush, they jump on top 200 naira notes. A popular politician, I think he's known as a Jayewa 11, Alhaji Sanusi Jayewa 11, an APC politician and businessman. for inside Kebbi State. I think it's from Jega area of Jega local government area of Kebbi State, where he did dash people money. If you see the way people were jumping onto 200 naira notes, see the money, you just know that it is finished. One note of 200, one note, one note. That is consistency projects. Ah, my goodness. I had to kill the audio because it's just mind-boggling to see this kind of thing that happen for inside our country. So does it now prove the statement of William Botha that we indeed lack the capacity to govern ourselves? Does that make through to that statement that Africans lack the capacity to govern themselves? Because a lot of people they talk say, oh, that's a statement we be saying na racist statement and all that. But beyond that, how our leaders don't use show us they then get the capacity to govern themselves. I beg, let's make this very interactive. T.Y. Danjuma, you're welcome. Ulu, you're welcome. I don't know you, but I'm glad to have you because I really would like to have divergent view on this conversation. But let me let you go straight ahead. Let me get your thoughts on this. Olu, can you hear me? Olu, are you there? Olu? Olu, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can hear you. I
All
can
right,
hear you.
so go ahead. I said it's your first time of joining us here. I don't know you. So please go ahead with the conversation. I'd like to get your thoughts on that video. Do you agree that blacks lack the capacity to govern themselves? And do you agree with Prince when he's saying that Africans need to be recolonized because their leaders are wicked to them and selfish?
Well, unfortunately, I'm tempted to say yes. That
Hell,
I do. That
don't
I
say.
do. I mean, I'm tempted to say yes because I mean, all of this madness going on, not just in Nigeria, but all over most part of Africa, the third world. I don't know when this is going to end or stop. Because I mean, in our own lifetime, we're not likely to see any means of civilization or development, as envisaged by, I would say, I mean, with relation to Nigeria, maybe our founding fathers. Speaking of somebody like maybe Awu, or um, Azikiwe, or their fathers in up north. I mean, wherever. I don't even want to mention any freaking name up there, you know. So it's all what we're seeing right now is just crazy. I mean it's we have shown that we lack the capacity to act with civility within ourselves. I mean, act civilized amongst ourselves. We can't hold a free and fair election. When somebody loses, is not patient enough to wait the next election cycle to to go before the people and argue before the people. We are not tolerant of one another. We have a very thin skin. You can't take criticism. You don't want to be criticized by the free media. You don't want to be, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And they want to send their children up here to come and benefit from the very thing they are denying the people up there. I mean, it's just, look at this ragged, for instance. That ragged, can you imagine? Does what he's saying does it make sense? So you are saying that IPOP doesn't have a right to carry rifle, but your own Fulani people have a right to carry guns, and government should give them money to settle them. What is the logic? What is the logic in what he's saying? What is the logic? If we compare both, the IPOP people, they have a land. They're indigenous to that land. They have something they are laying claim to. Your people don't even have anything they are laying claim to. And even if you go, you come, we all immigrate to different parts of the world, and um we blend with the people, we assimilate, and get along with the people. Our kids become indigenes or they are born and they become citizens of those places. Is that how we behave? Is that how you become a part of a people? You want to take over their lands, you want to take over their way of life, you want to force your own religion, your own culture, you want them to accept it as a way of life. I mean, how is that civilized? I mean, you're listening to that man and I mean, I don't get it. And how has their way of life ever since they've been forcing this on the people in that place, in that shithole? I mean, I'm sorry to say, in that contraption. How has it helped their own part of the country? How has it helped their own part of the country? They forced the constitution down the throats to favor them, and it hasn't helped them in any way. I mean, and for me, I think it's what the American guy is saying is unfortunately it's the truth. It's the truth. We all see our forefathers or um the descendants of the slaves that were taken to America. Are they not better? Even though they weren't done right. I mean, even though they were done wrong by what happened to them, are they not better off today than we that are here right now, back home in our own indigenous lands? They are better off in so many ways. So what he's saying is not wrong. I'm gonna leave it here. I'll be one moment.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. T. White Angela, you don't hear what. Let me see if I have somebody else in the house because I really would love to bring as many people as possible on to this conversation. It's really it breaks my heart to have this conversation, but I think it's something that we should have. Now, part of the things we William Botha talk, the South African apartheid leader, he say black people cannot rule themselves because they don't have the brain and mental capacity to govern a society, not just govern themselves, they don't have the brain and mental capacity to govern a society. Give them guns, they will kill themselves. Give them power, they will steal all the government money. This man made this statement years ago. Exactly what is happening now. Give them independence and democracy, they will use it to promote tribalism, ethnicity, bigotry, hatred, killings, and wars. T. White Anjuma, I beg, based on waiting both at talk, put your mouth for talk. Let me take it for because it did like say the man a visionary. Almost everything we talk now exactly what they happen for most places for Africa. Nigeria, a typical example. Do we not have guns that we're using to kill ourselves now? Do we not have government and have people stealing our resources? Are we not promoting tribalism, ethnicity, and all that against each other? At the time he made this statement, he was greatly criticized for making pro apartheid statements. I be pro waiting to the column racist statement. But most of those statements we make now, waiting be the lie for which I beg, let me take your thoughts very quickly while I get more people into the house. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good evening, my brother Edwin.
Yeah, TY.
Yeah, how you doing? Good evening. Good evening, viewers. Good evening. What's the other guy's name? That spoke
Olu.
first.
Olu.
Olu, good evening. And good evening, viewers. Well, my view is different from what Olu has said. First of all, the voter that you mentioned is a racist. The apartheid is extremely biased towards the black people.
Yes, he is.
The way they treat it, they don't see, first of all, they don't see blacks as human beings. So
and that is why he told you that we lack the mental capacity to govern ourselves.
No. That's not the reason. The reason is that he has the typical mindset where they see black people as
inferior. I understand you.
Yes.
I understand you.
So
but
that
have
has
we
nothing.
shown have we shown that we're capable? Have we proven him wrong?
Wait now, because if you have, I'll come to that. If you have that coming from someone who is not a biased person and is just speaking stricto sensu on facts and figures, then you will say, but this person is biased. Ab initio. So even if he sees the black, let me tell you, in history, there's something you call hermetic hypothesis. And the theory says that anywhere in Africa or any black man that you see that is progressing, if you check his DNA, he has a white gene. In other words, the black man has no capacity, no ability to be great or to do any great thing.
You don't understand my point, T.Y. Danjuma.
No, I'm not. Wait now. So you ask me make I talk.
Okay, no problem.
So wait, make I talk now. Okay. So hermetic hypothesis is that the black man does not have ability, does not have that is the same thing that these people are saying here. Now, if you go back to pre-colonial times, even to antiquity, you would see that some of the great civilizations that we have had in the world came from areas that you call, the black continent. I mean, the black country. Anywhere, whether it's in Ethiopia, whether it's in Egypt, Sudan, Zimbabwe.
I was going to mention Egypt to you too. I mean,
yes,
most of the ancient civilizations.
So that destroys early writing. Universities. Even here, if you talk about Nigeria, we got the television station before some countries in the Western in the West. The point is to denigrate an entire. The point I'm making is to denigrate an entire race, and to say that they don't have capacity, they are not intelligent. Okay, because you hate them, you don't like to see them. For me, is unacceptable. Now, Prince himself is a black person, so I believe that he's also talking about himself, that he doesn't have capacity and he doesn't have the brain. So I hope he's talking to himself too. Now, so that's one point.
No, Prince did not say that. Prince, don't misquote him. There are two people.
No, he says they should be recolonized.
Yes, and do you know what he said? That re-listen to him again. I think no. Please let's get things in proper perspective.
No, hold on. Let me comment now.
Text matters.
Let me go ahead, please. Let me finish.
Because I wanted to replay his video so that you hear exactly what he said.
So no, if he says, I got some of the things you said. He said we should be recolonized.
Can I replay it so that you hear him again, please?
Let me finish and then you can replay it.
All right, no problem.
So when he says black people should be recolonized, okay, he is speaking to the fact that they are not able. He's saying that they are not able to govern themselves. So you need white people to come and still teach them, reteach them. Okay, that's his view, and he's entitled to his view. Now you must separate capacity. If you say people they are not intelligent, they don't have capacity, they cannot govern themselves. These are three different issues that you are posing. Now, is it true that Africa hasn't done well? African leaders haven't done well. True. Are we satisfied with where we are today? No. Should we be where we are today? No. Have our leaders done some very atrocious things and are still doing atrocious things? Yes. The reason why we're talking today is because people like us don't think that this is where we should be. It is because we see that this is not who we are, and we can't be like this. That's why we're speaking. Otherwise, there's no need for us to be here. Now, the point that should be made is that yes, our African leaders have failed. Our leaders have failed to do the things they will do, they're supposed to do. They have the endowments, they have the capacity. But if you look at the trajectory of most African states or a lot of African states, the willpower to be able to do what is right is not there. And there are reasons for these things. Some of them. I'm not justifying it. There are reasons. And those are the things that we look at for. What of the African countries? Go to Congo, for instance, one of the most richest countries in terms of endowment in Africa. The first prime minister that they have, Patrice Lumumba, what happened to him? It's CIA. It's CIA. Why did they take him out? Now, do we have this kind of history too? in the West, in other places. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, it is true that we haven't done well. And even then, when you analyze some African countries today, it's not true that everyone is doing very badly. We're not where we're supposed to be. But there are African countries, when you go there today, you will marvel. When you see what's happening, the developments that you marvel. But are they where they're supposed to be?
With all due respect, sir, please give me a break. Please give me a break. Please give me a break. There are other countries that were not even at par with Africa at some point, with some countries in Africa in terms of independence and resources, who are doing much better. We have Malaysia. We have other places. So let's not even go. So give me a break. Let's not try to support them. It is
But
not
when
true.
you are,
it is not. We can do better.
Listen.
We can do better. What is wrong with us?
There are countries in Asia and Europe that are also not doing well.
I am not saying that all the countries are doing well.
Okay, fine.
Tell me what country in the world that has the immense natural resources that Africa has, that has both the vast arable lands and the population where Africa gets. For which continent we will get them? We still they as poor as Africa. Use Nigeria as example. Show me them.
I will answer you. Tell me any continent outside Africa that has been so devastated by colonialism, imperialism, and new colonialism. Tell me, apart from Africa, tell me one country.
Now that is where I'm driving at. What caused their colonialism, neo-colonialism, imperialism? What caused it? Not be still us.
That is what we are supposed to be discussing, because it's not good to just sweep.
What
is not good.
So, oh my God! You did not listen to me. I'm sorry. My point is, why are we letting ourselves remain this way? And I did say something when I was laying my preamble. I did say that some of us will say that, oh, some of the leaders who are trying to effect change, they will say that the CIAs came for them, they killed them. Do you understand? Are you telling me that if all African leaders will have African Union, we have sub-unions like ECOWAS, are you telling me that if they all come together and say, this is the change we want and we must all drive at it, that US, CIA, Israel, and Russia, they will kill all of them together? It's not possible now.
Precious. You are asking us whether what Buta said and whether Prince said is correct. That's what you ask us to do. That's what we're discussing.
I am not just saying whether it's correct.
So that statement that we're looking at.
No, giving me reasons why it's not. And when you're giving me the reason, I have right to counter your reason.
No. What you are saying, if you are talking in terms of development or all round, that's a different thing. You narrowed the thing down to what these two people said, and we should analyze
I did not narrow
it. That's what you're talking about.
No, I used it as its preamble to look at the
so let me talk about it. If you want me to talk about development,
generally,
if you want me to talk about overall development, we can talk about it. We need to go back to history.
So sorry, but I couldn't just narrow this conversation to just what Prince said alone now. And then I went to go and bring what Williams Botha said. No, now I'm just using them as an example to a larger conversation. But just go ahead, sir.
If your question is why is Africa so backward, we can tackle that.
Of course, that's what the question is.
So that's a different thing. But if you are saying that I should concur to what these people have said, when they are not speaking from a point of view of an African, I can speak as an African of my own problems. Now, a white man cannot come and be telling me this thing when they are part of the problem that we have. That's the point I'm making, that they are already biased. So they can speak to our issues because they are part of the reason why we are where we are. That's not exculpating our leaders from blame. I'm saying that analyzing what Buta said, for me, whether it is true or not, for me, is not the issue. But the point is that they are part of the problem. Why would he leave his own country to come to Africa? Why? Why did he leave his country to come to Africa? To come and enslave people?
Why you leave your own country, go stay their own country? Is it not the same?
I'm not enslaving anybody here.
For diverse reasons. That's the point.
No. I'm not enslaving anybody here. Listen. They came to an African country to come and enslave them, take their land, kill them, call them monkeys.
How long will you keep blaming them? For over 100 years, you're still blaming them.
How long will you keep blaming?
I'm not blaming them. I'm saying that they cannot. He doesn't have the moral listening to come and be telling me that nonsense.
Why he does not have that moral?
He doesn't have. That's why people. That's why people. That's why people like Mandela. That's why people.
Is it true or not? Has it come to play out or not?
That is why people like Mandela stood against him, and Walter Sisulu and so on. Stood against them and fought them. So
let me bring others to the house. Thank you so much. You're still here, though. So let me take other opinions. Oga Edwin, you want to say something very quickly before I take Oga Frank Onera and the rest?
My own go long go.
You go long, so make a let others talk. Oga Ken, are you there? Good evening and welcome, Ken.
Good evening, Precious. Good evening, TY, everybody, and all listeners. Let me come from another angle. Okay, look at it from this angle. Why are African leaders very mean to their people?
Very mean, no?
Do we need white people to come be presidents? Let's go to our country. Do you know the most painful thing is that when they leave power, like Obasanjo, all those people, they start waxing lyrical. They start telling us how a road is supposed to look like. But while you were there, you didn't make one effort to do those things. Look at the insecurity that is going on. These people have forgotten that some of them, by next dispensation, in 1 year's time, they won't be in power anymore. And this insecurity will get to them. I remember our Minister of Foreign Affairs going on this media, international media, saying that his own father-in-law, something like that, has been affected by insecurity. What are we doing? Nothing. Why are our leaders so inhumane to our people? And secondly, I blame the people too. Even while I was in Nigeria, I can't remember going to bed for 200 naira, even when I didn't have a job. I remember when these politics were coming up, they gathered us in the streets everywhere to go do one thing or the other. We rejected the politics, like, okay, let other people do it. We didn't even know it was going to be like this. But for those that went in there, why are we so inhumane? Why don't we think that when we leave power, this insecurity, this no light, is still going to come to us?
All right, Frank Onero, if you're there, let me let you talk quickly before Oga Edwin will talk. Frank Onero, your network just do you off and on. Oh yeah, Oga Edwin, let me let you talk. Go ahead, please.
Okay, TY, good evening. And good evening to you, Precious, and to all our listeners and viewers.
Thank you. But
you know what, yes. Yeah, now, I concur to what was said or analyzed concerning African leaders and the African continent as a whole. Now, Precious, tell me, when did we get independence from these so-called people who came to colonize us? When? How many years ago? For instance, Nigeria gained independence in 1960. Is that right or wrong? 1960. From 1960 till date, what has happened to Nigeria? You know what is there? The African mindset is just totally oppressive and clueless leadership across board, across the African continent. The African continent, as a continent, is the most blessed on earth naturally in all ramifications with resources and everything. God endowed that continent. God just created that continent, gave that continent everything. Do you know do you know what God added to the African continent? He excluded us from all natural disasters. How many African countries, if you have been to South Africa, I've been there several times, only a few weeks or most of the year, you just put on your jacket and the rest. Look at the weather there, just like what obtained in Jos those days. Other than that, how many catastrophic natural disasters has happened in the African continent compared to what you have in Asia, what you have across Europe? Remember what happened in Italy some years ago, or in Germany? Tell me how many has happened in any of these African countries. In addition to that, what other natural disasters have happened? What sort of climate do we have in Africa? Almost uniform. It's either mild hot weather and then to mild cold, nothingness. What has happened in Nigeria? Has there ever been an earthquake in Nigeria? No. But what have we done? The white man came, yes. They came to seek for resources. They got them. In addition, they partitioned the continent. Do you know the partitioning done by Germany, UK, and US, and all of them? And then what happened? Look at our mindset. The Patrice Lumumba that TY referred to. Why was he killed? Was it not his own people that set him up? Gave him up to the CIA and everything. Look at all the coups that happen in Africa. What leads to them? Bad leadership. Isn't it? Imagine you are elected to govern your people. You are elected to render services to humanity. As soon as you get in there, you start oppressing, you start stealing, you start looting, you start depriving people of all opportunities. Look at the number of African youths in Europe. The best brains in Africa are in Europe, and they are helping to develop this European economy.
The same brains that they said we lack to
yes,
rule ourselves.
That is exactly what I'm telling you.
Your own nation.
Yes,
or not
it
develop
is
our own. That is why I have a problem. So in all of this, our leaders have failed to tap into the vast.
Exactly. It looks as if the African mindset. Let me tell you, and those best brains that I refer to are in different spectrum of life in Europe and in the US and UK. Those are not the ones that are ever given the chance.
My brother,
let me laugh you why.
No, sorry, no vex. So you know that they have brains and they're outside, because the question here is that they don't have brain. You remember they said they don't get brain.
No,
so you are admitting now that they have brain.
We are referring to leadership. It's leadership we are talking about. Why is it that the best brains in Africa
That's a different discussion. No, leadership is
it's not a different discussion. No. Africans and the best brains normally don't have access to position of leadership. And even those that have so-called best brains, listen, even those that have the so-called best brains, once they get into a position of leadership, it is something else. So what do you think is responsible? So there is a genetic propensity to that effect that once an African gets into a position of leadership, either the genetic disorder comes in, and then everything changes. Now, look at the so-called, look at Festus Keyamo, for instance. Look at all these other leadership, all of them, the African continent as a whole. Look at Dr. Ruben Ruto, the current Kenyan president. Who was he before he became president? Why was he voted into position of leadership? The Uhuru Kenyatta, the one that preceded him in office. So when you look at it, when these Western writers and everything, politicians and the rest, when they make this pronouncement about Africa, you don't really have facts to dispute what they are saying, because it goes across board. It is not just only in Nigeria. It is not just maybe it's a Nigerian issue. It's an African issue, and it is so. Now, let me come to Asia, Singapore, and all these other small countries. They had the same resources as Nigeria, as at the time they all obtained independence. And now tell me, if you go to Singapore today, if you go to all these other countries that are the Asian tigers, you know what we call the Asian tigers, how they all develop their economy. What has happened to African continents? Do we have African countries that have turned Africa to African tiger? But we have the Asian tigers, and look at the way they've developed. If you go today now to Indonesia, just Indonesia, almost an entirely an Islamic country. If you go to that place, if you have ever been there, I have been there, and I'm talking from experience. So when you compare them to the Africans, it's a different mindset. So whenever I always say man is a product of his environment, it is total aggregate of what these white people think about us, of the way they assess us, what we do, and then taking us back to our roots, where we came from. That is the way they assess us. For instance, they say majority of Nigerians are scammers. Why are we scammers? What drove them into becoming scammers? It is down to where they all came from, the leadership back there. Look at the Nigerian youth of today. Those that should be propagating or pushing for total free and fair election, the youth there are being given crumbs and they've all turned to hoodlums. So tell me what has made them to become hoodlums? Is it not leadership? Now tell me, of all the 36 governors we have, just rate them on a sort of performance scale. What will you say about all of them? And then look at our president. What will you say about him? And then just juxtapose that to all other African countries. Tell me one African country that can hold its heads up and say, look, we are at par with Western development, or with what obtains in the developed world. For instance, how many African countries leaders really pay attention to justice? For instance, how can people be committing crimes and criminality and they are never punished? How can somebody like Wike be riding roughshoes on all Nigerians and nothing has happened to him? He is just there. He decided the Abuja FCT elections and people are clapping. Oh, free and fair election. What was free and fair election? Did any free and fair election happen in Abuja? The FCT elections? No. But we are clapping. And who are the people clapping? Are they not these Nigerians? And who is making them to clap? Bad leadership. Today, let a good leadership template comes into being in Nigeria, the giant of Africa. You will see it. It might feature into other African countries because most African leaders will always refer to Nigeria as the giant of Africa. If Nigeria does well, the African continent will succeed and do well. So when you see all these Western people say, Africans don't have the capacity to lead their countries, I concur with them. Because that is what we are talking about. What makes a country becomes productive financially, economically, and socially? Is it not good leadership? If you don't have good leadership, tell me how that country will prosper. It won't.
Okay, but Edwin, I want to understand you because I want to understand your drift. One, you as a black person, you don't have brain. You don't have capacity to think.
No, TY, let us not talk about that. That is not what we are talking about.
What you're doing is not fair.
Wait now.
What you're doing is not fair. We did not say.
Wait now. I want to understand your drift because there was issue that was raised here concerning the capacity, the intellectual ability of the black person. So we have to we need to address that. Does he have capacity? If he doesn't have capacity, if he don't hold on, Precious. If he doesn't have capacity, then don't think about having good leadership. But if you say that he has capacity, if you say that he has capacity, and that some Africans are doing well elsewhere outside Africa,
there is a difference between capacity and intellectual capacity. They are two different things.
Yes. So does he have intellectual
capacity? No, don't put me off my something. When we talk about intellectual capacity, Africans have it. But when you talk about the capacity to deliver, to lead, Africans don't have it. They don't.
That's your own view.
It's not my view.
Gentlemen, please calm down.
It's not my view.
Calm down.
It is.
Mr. Edwards, you've spoken, please. Kindly just so that we don't make
Precious, let me just land.
Please calm down. You have made your point, and I want to set something straight. First of all, I think you're mixing up the entire conversation. I played what Prince said, and what Prince said didn't say that Africans lack the capacity to rule themselves. I only brought in the statement by William Bothy to buttress what he had said, to raise a pointer to what he has said. I didn't say that Prince said Africans lack the capacity to rule themselves. So I think you just mix these two things up together.
No. I'm the one saying that now. I understand what you said.
It's okay for you to take your stand, though. I am not forcing your stand.
Oh, yes, it is my stand.
However, on my own part too, just like TY, I do not also agree that we lack the capacity because I believe, say, any sense where there anybody head, whether Asian, black, brown, chocolate, all of us get that same sense. But the real reason, excuse me, the real problem in the application of that part of our senses.
Now you're talking.
My concern is why
do we find it difficult to apply that particular
Okay,
thing?
you that
should be
precious.
the argument. That should be the
Precious,
argument.
precious.
That's what I'm
Why do you
raising.
think? Why do you think what that man said goes across board in Africa? Why is it that I told you? I said there's a difference between intellectual capacity and the capacity to put to play that
Edwin, let me ask you:
capacity that you
have you gone to Namibia?
intellectually.
Have you gone to Namibia?
Namibia? No, I've not been to Namibia, but I've been
Have you gone to Botswana?
No.
Have you gone
But
to Cape Verde?
if you go to South Africa,
Hold on,
for
I'm
instance,
asking you: have you gone to Mauritius?
No.
Have you gone to Seychelles?
I have not been to all those Seychelles. Those are countries where the leadership there attempted or are attempting to exhibit.
No, you have not gone there. You can't comment. You have not gone there. You can't comment.
A fractional degree of the qualities of being a leader, a president, and what propels it. It is because they submit to the rule of law. And African leaders.
So the issue for the discussion.
Yes.
Precious has just reframed it. If we have the ability.
I need to bring other
Why
people into
are
this
we not
intellectual ability? Africans, when we are here and we get first class degrees, we have everything. Our children are the brightest.
All right.
You understand me? But that is different from being a leader. That is different. It's two different things.
Are you the one that ran the old Benin Empire?
Franco Nero.
No, you are the one that ran.
That is an old Benin Empire was there before independence. I am talking about independence.
Hello.
Yes, Franco Nero, go ahead, please.
Yes, Una, good evening. I may will calm down small. It's like my network self. The one that they vibrate, it don't affect my network. At the login, log out.
Now where you don't log in, you log fully in and fire down sharp. Talk your mind quickly.
Redirect our attention back to what did they happen. All those what Oyibo man talk about us. Nigerians get capacity. Africans get capacity. It's just that those that have been privileged to sit on offices that will set policies, and we give them the privilege, not right, the privilege to budget our resources. Like I always say, criminals, thieves, liars, forgers, destroyers. Now them, they hold various offices in Nigeria. You understand the point? Well, all those other talk.
Are they still not part of us?
That's it. The two people on the panel, they are intelligent people. They can rule. Some of us not still hold offices in different capacity, and we did well. Either in our place of work, or maybe as community leaders, or as student union leaders, or we were accountable. We did what we need to do in those capacities. But we have too many thieves, criminals that we need to flush out. That is why I say I want to go back. I want to go. INEC judiciary, INEC majorly is the weapon that is fashioned against the growth and major one. If INEC is sincere,
and just hold on.
The leadership,
Mr. Franco Nero, the people were inside the INEC, people who
and they listen.
The INEC should be them from Afghanistan. They're from Afghanistan, come. They're not be Nigerians. The INEC people.
Listen.
Not be human beings. Not be Nigerians.
Listen.
When they come the INEC.
Listen. They have been excellent people in INEC. Example, Mike Guinea, an upright man. I know Mike Guinea when I was at the University of Benin. He was way ahead of me though. Mike Guinea is a man of integrity. Mike Guinea was in charge of INEC in Edo State, was in charge of INEC in Akwa Ibom State, was in charge of INEC in Cross River State. And he did excellently well. Why we Nigerians not push and cry and shout that such a man of upright integrity that has the experience, has the capacity, has the knowledge, has what it takes to head INEC? If somebody like that head INEC, you think one resident commissioner will misbehave and he will not send to jail? He will set him up to go to jail. So what are we talking about? We have the capacity. It's just that some of the privilege, I use the word again, those that are in charge, they see it as their right to loot, to steal. And then those of us need to speak. The majority of us will need to speak. But because they give them a gunja, peanuts, corn for their pocket, they will keep quiet. They want it to come to their pocket. Finally, before I go, before my network cuts, finally, you show the video. Useless and very mentally deranged sharing 200 naira. 200 naira. What an insult. When I not get chichi, growing up, my mother, if you bring 1,000 naira come my house, where my man not get money to even cook, she will question you, where you get that money from? I don't understand how a man like this, I don't know what office he's holding. This man, he brain dead the leak, to be sincere with you. This man not get brain at all. At all. To be sincere, not get brain. What did the 200 now go do? He finally, my point is, the people will ensure Nigerians are poor, giving them all this peanut. But Nigerians must wake up until we change these criminals, thieves, rogue, thugs, agberos, and destroyers. We will not move forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Frank Onero. Adibari Ziridi, would you like to drop your thought very quickly before I replay? I think
good evening, House, and
yes, good evening. Can you help me hold your thought a bit? Let me quickly take the caller on the phone. Good evening and welcome, sir.
Yeah. I just want to say, those guys talking on your YouTube now, it is not Nigeria that is clean. They are not clean. If they're in the position, the way they are talking now, they will do the worst. They will do the worst. They are there. And look at the way they are shouting. They don't allow one other to talk. And when white people are looking at them, what do you think?
Is that all the contribution you want to make, sir?
No, I'm just waiting. I'm not finished.
All right, so go ahead. Finish your thoughts.
The way they are shouting at each other. When white man look at them, what do you think the white man is going to say?
Why should a white man judge them? Do they also not have arguments on their own?
No, the way
What is wrong? What is wrong with an African having an argument over the development of their own Africa?
What I'm trying to say, they are talking now. If they're in that position, if they are given any opportunity, they will do worse.
How do you know
That's
that?
a lie. How do you know that?
I'm coming, sir.
How do you know that?
Does it mean that you two would do worse?
You two would do the same thing.
I know myself. I have been in Europe for more than 3 decades. Okay. I know my thinking is not like Nigerians. I think like
Oh, so because you think like a white, they are also abroad. You think that they also don't think like whites? You think that they will also do differently?
Because the way they are talking, I don't.
So why are you judging? You don't know any of us. You are saying that we'll do the same thing. You don't know any of us. You don't know what role we have played. You don't know what we have done. And then you are already judging. You see, this is the problem. This is what I'm trying to dispel. That you judge people, you don't even know the antecedents. And you just open your mouth and you say you are different, but every other person is bad. That's awful. And then you claim that it's because you are abroad. That's why you are different. That means your parents at home didn't bring you up well. It's only when you went abroad that you now change.
No, what I'm trying to say, the the white people that were talking now, they were talking sense. They were talking sense. We have the ability, we have the quality to fix Nigeria. We have the quality to fix Nigeria. But what is the problem in Nigeria is that we can talk anyhow, we can say anything we want to say. But when you are in the position there, can you be clean?
Yes.
Can you be 100%
Excuse
clean?
me, sir. Excuse me, sir. There are people who are in position right now that have shown that, proven that they can be clean. One typical example, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. She entered office, and the resources that they gave to her as the chairman of a particular committee, because she did not have need to use the money, she did not use it. At the end of the month, she was told by the clerk of that committee that the usual practice is at the end of each month, if you didn't have need to use the allocation, you share it. She said she cannot share. I'm coming, sir. Let me finish talking. She said she cannot share because that's not the mindset she came in with. And nobody from the Senate has repeated that thing she said till today. Nobody has repeated it and said she lied. So that means she's been able to show that she has different personality from others. Me, Precious Amy, if I am in public position, I would do differently.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, sir.
The point you just raised, that is Natasha. Natasha is a clean lady.
What makes her clean? Okay, sir. What makes her clean and what makes me dirty? What makes her clean and what makes me dirty that I cannot be clean or cleaner than her?
Why she's clean? Because she's not a pure Nigerian.
You can see the sentiment. You can see what I'm saying.
That without a touch of Western world,
we can't do anything. That's what I'm saying.
Ordinarily,
this man is lost.
Is not a good human
He's
being.
lost totally.
Your great-great-grandfather is not a good human being. He's a thief and a
He's lost. This man is not. He's totally lost.
A touch of a foreign blood in us to make us good people. Is that what you're saying?
No.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm fighting against here.
Her character is quite different.
What makes you think that my own character will not be different because I don't have a touch of white in my body?
Look at people in the government. Look at what they are doing. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Is that normal what they are doing now?
I just cited her as an example, and I dare say there may be one or two more persons in government that is also different, but I just used her as an example, and that's not to say that she's the only one.
Okay, let me say one thing. The way the government is running now, is that nice?
Well, that is the reason why we raised the conversation in the first place now. Okay. All right, I appreciate you, sir. Sir? Okay. All right, sir. Are you done, sir? Oh, okay. He's done. Go ahead.
Precious. Maybe let me make my point clear. Let me make my point clear. I'm not saying that in terms of leadership we have done well. I'm not saying that. It is clear that we haven't done well. That's not the point I'm saying. But I'm saying that I don't agree if anybody comes here, like he just said, that everybody in Africa or everybody in Nigeria is bad. And if you give any of us here the opportunity to have an opportunity, I mean, there's no need to come to the platform to be blowing your trumpet. That's not the issue. But before I came here, I have been a community person. And I have commendations from the governor, from my supervisory councillor, from my community of the things that I did, how I led the community to address issues within my community. I have letters of commendation. If you like, I can tell you I have letters of commendation from Fashola. I have letters of commendation from my supervisory councillor. I have letters from my community itself, leadership, of sinking boreholes, of grading roads, of working together, putting drainages. I have them. I have my name mentioned even in PM News. I have the copies here of the things that I did with my own, taking my own time with my own money, using my own connection to help my community. And so I stand proud. I work when I go out, when I go to Nigeria and go to my community, I'm happy. And I'm talking about Lagos. I'm not even talking about my state now. If you go down to my state, I know the things that I have done. But this is not the place to blow your trumpet. I have seen money, and I have been tempted, and have managed to stay, stay
right,
focused and stay clear. So
let's
that's
quickly
not
let
the issue.
the Barrys,
What,
let's quickly
what,
let the Barrys jumping on the conversation and let Hunt talk, and then so that we can all, just share our views. I like the fact that we have divergent views. I mean, that's the beauty of this conversation. I am particularly, even at that, I am not happy. I am pained about what is going on in Africa. I am very, very pained. And that's one of the reasons I started this conversation. The Barrys, please kindly go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, the network was kind of yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead,
Hello?
please. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
The network. Okay. Good evening, house. I mean, TY and my guy, all of them are big guy. I beg. Good evening. Interesting conversation. However, right, there's something that I wanted to see if we paid attention to yesterday's broadcast from that our guest.
Michael.
He says something. I think Michael, someone asked him a question about how can America help and Trump and all those things.
Yes, I did ask that.
And somebody not only that, I'm going somewhere. Somebody was insisting that let Trump help the East, that we need to break away. I think he also followed up with that point as well. And he said, and I want to make this very clear, he said the moment you bring the issue of Biafra, they will close the door on you. I just want to reiterate that point right there. I said this to say because every time we come up and we keep saying Biafra, you remember I always ask, is there any way that, of course, in the East, or let's say Southeast, we consider the Igbos as our big brothers? I have not seen or have yet to see the Igbo elite come down to the South. Those of us that fought the Biafra war with them, say, how do we come back together and build that area? And forget all this nonsense that's going on. But no one has been able to answer me, yes, so there's a date like this, or there's an event like this, or there's someone like this from the East that is doing this to the South to build that, and that we are all 90, 98, 99% Christians. We have the same belief, similar culture and tradition, and things like that. We could have gone far if we look inward. I just say that to say, to just buttress what the man said yesterday about, let's be mindful of when we are asking for some kind of stability in Nigeria, and we keep bringing, Biafra this, Biafra that. It's not paying off again. It's not ringing bell in the ears of the international community. So I just say that because I'll keep bringing this back up. I think on Thursday, when Dr. Cash comes.
Conversation. This is different from, Biafra conversation or no Biafra association. It's not part of what we're discussing, so that we don't get things mixed up and then create another.
I know
argument. So
yes, today's conversation about. No, I only point because yesterday I picked that out. So today's conversation, I will have to go with Edwin because, hey, listen, we always talk about average, laws of averages. If you put an average black people to all the black, is it 64 countries, 64 black countries in the world, the 54 in Africa and how many in the Caribbean? Look at their leadership. Look at the leadership role. Look at their performance. Look at the society. Look what's going on. Is it not the same thing with what the man said about black people cannot govern themselves? We can say all this, all we want. The problem, the issue is this. In order to solve a mathematics equation, you have to know the problem before you can even think of the formula. So what is the problem? What is going on with us? Is it true that we cannot govern ourselves? Let's ask the question and look critically. All the countries, I see TY was mentioning some minute, small countries. Fine. How is it? How are they doing? Is it on the surface? What exactly is going on?
With the aid of foreign or Western powers. It's okay. Thank you.
The network, I mean, maybe it's from my side. I don't know.
It's okay.
But anyways, I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, the network. So let me leave it that way. I'll jump back tomorrow. Thank you so
All right.
much, guys.
Thank you so much, Barry's. I appreciate you.
You see,
Thank you.
there are so many books that have been written on why Africa is underdeveloped or is at the stage where it is now. And some people need to go and read it. But that is not taken away. That is not to say that we have not played a role. The point that I have made is if you go back to prehistoric times, pre-colonial times, if you see the damage that was done to Africa, it was not done to Europe.
See why I'm coming. I'm coming to that. Just hold on.
Yes.
Just let me hold your thoughts. Let me take this.
Yes.
I'm coming to that, please. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Yeah, I'm Precious.
Sir?
First of all, can you hear me, please?
Crystal clear. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, first of all, let me thank you for what you're doing. Obviously a fan. And based on the last call, that man does not represent Nigerians overseas. The last caller that was saying a lot of gibberish, that's who we are. So my contributions are going to be very, very brief. That man is a madman.
No. Please, let's not disrespect each other. People have right to their opinions.
I'm sorry. He's not a madman, but his comments were not very good. No one loves Nigeria more than the next person. Two things I just want to make clear. Two things. Yeah, you called Natasha Ogboti.
Yes.
A woman I admire. There are more of them.
There are, but it's just that because they are quite few, they are clamped down. They're not allowed to talk. So we barely hear them. The system overwhelms them. But there are a few of them.
There are so many. I won't call the list. Some people might even argue you could put Bola Tinubu on that list because I was there when he was governor of Lagos. That was before I traveled. I saw what he did on the road I lived in. So there are some Nigerian politicians that have come there and done a fairly decent job. The problem we're having now, and that's the stuff I really called about, is once you have insurrectionists attacking the military barracks based on the reporting I've read through, so let's call it what it is. Nigeria is at war.
But the same man you're just praising now has refused to agree that Nigeria is at war now.
No, Tinubu is a very good politician.
And that's what I'm saying. He's covering up. Has he done a good job protecting his people? He's sworn to protect your life, my life, and our properties. Has he done a good job doing that? That means he's failed in his duties. He's failed.
Yeah,
I mean, when you know that your people are being killed by whatever elements they are, and Sheikh just indicted him by saying that the federal government knows every terrorist by name and their location. And Showore just, doubled that conversation by saying that it is true that every criminal, not just terrorist, that the federal government, the government know them to their house, to their base. That's an indictment on your government. An indictment of a man whom you said has done a fair job. I'm sorry.
I said you did a fair job. I said you did a fair job in Lagos. I said it's good in politics, but poor in governance.
He's good in he's a good politician, but a bad governance.
I have friends that work for him. Friends that went to Nigerian law school with. They work with Tinubu. So I mean, I'm being very honest. When I come to visit, I tell my friends, your boss is horrible. This is what's going to happen in Nigeria before I round up. This is what I see is going to happen. This stuff is going to go on, and then you're going to have a jackboot. You're going to have a soldier. And the next one we're going to be talking about, just mark today. If things don't improve, you're going to see a coup d'etat. And Nigerians will then celebrate us going from the fire into the depths of hell. If this continues, mark, my name is Vincent, mark what I said. A soldier, a jackboot, will use this as a reason to overthrow our democracy. And then Nigerians will go on the street and celebrate the madness. So, I mean, that's why I called. Maybe your platform, if one of those people in governance hears this, you can't keep doing this. Now, soldiers are dying. Nigerian civilians are dying. And like you said, rightly, Tinubu is doing nothing about it. When will it be too much for the average Nigerian? When would that? It happened in Burkina Faso, and that their current head of state is adored as a hero. But if you go through his history, his human rights record is so deplorable. But unfortunately, and it's very painful for me to say this, this is what I see if things don't change. I'm still an eternal optimist. If things do not change, that's where Nigeria is heading to. I rest my case.
Well, we're heading to where again? Can you repeat it?
We're heading for a soldier, a jackboot that will overthrow our democratically elected governments, and Nigerians will troop on the streets and celebrate.
Now, can I blow your mind? Do you know why that is deep? That is dicey if it happened. Nigeria cannot be like Burkina Faso. You understand that? Now, majority of the leaders you have in your military are people that they are already blaming, according to what we're saying, that they share some of the extreme values of the people causing the problem. That's what some people are saying, or some quarters are saying. So who will conduct the coup and lead the change if there is an agenda that will not pursue that agenda?
It's going to be the junior ranks.
Okay.
It's not going to be the general. It's going to be the junior ranks.
As I speak to you now, most people from the southern part of the country are declining to register in the army, especially southeast. They are practically begging them. They're refusing because they feel that if they register, they'll push them to the war front and they get them killed.
Yes, I know.
Do you understand? So when you refuse to join the military, how will your people not be of that rank that they will not? I don't know, but it's, I mean, I think it's, I don't know. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you so much. TY, thank you so much. You want to say something else? Let me.
Yes, I want to say something. You know, I mentioned some African states that you know, you say are small states, and I think you and someone on the platform posted that it was the Germans and their colonial masters that developed those places. Those colonial masters left for years now, over a decade, some 20 years. And then the leadership has been able to maintain and to move the progress forward.
So,
That means,
fantastic. I agree with you. Before you finish, not first make a that means
yes,
then get people who get sense, we follow up.
very good. Now, so the problem in Nigeria,
waiting why they lack that sensible people.
Fine. So that destroys that argument. Now, the problem, you know, if we are talking about problem of, because we have narrowed this thing now down to leadership. Okay, not that Africans are not intelligent, not that they don't have IQ, not that they have a DNA of corruption. I don't agree with that. Now, the point is that every environment has something, you know, the environment influences you. If you put in your constitution, for instance, let me take something from the north.
I need to bring people out so that you don't talk.
Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to, let me make a quick point.
Okay.
There's a system in the north where you would find a father is a beggar. His grandfather, his father was a beggar. His grandfather beggar. His great-great-grandfather beggar. Great-great-great, and you trace the line, beggars all through. They have been taught that is how God made them. And so they must remain like that. There's no need to go to school. You must depend on these big people to constantly feed you. Now, if you operate that kind of system, that's where you will see this man who is giving them $200. I think 200 naira. I think it's a small money to them. It's a big money because they have fashioned them to think that way and to see those people as overlord is some kind of fiefdom. You know, so there are quite a lot of things that is, and it's you look over Africa. There's so many places where I just took that as an example. That system has to be destroyed. The reason why we're talking here every day is because we are challenging the system and we're saying that's not a model for development.
Thank you.
And that's why we're arguing.
Let's bring others in very quickly so I wouldn't spend all day here. It's almost 2 hours into the show. Hunt, you were here before, Mr. Pansat. Hunt, would you like to say something? Unmute yourself, please, and go ahead. Hunt, please go ahead. You're still muted. You are muted. Kindly unmute yourself and go ahead. Oh dear, unfortunately. So Pansat, good evening. Welcome. Let's have you have your say.
Thank you very much. My friend Tony, we were on a platform not long ago together. And those in the comment section, obviously, I'm listening to your show.
Greetings, Dave.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. So, well, I noticed that it's usually a time to close up. So let me just go straight to the point and forget the protocol. A lot of Nigerians, they come online and they're just talking. They don't take the temperature in the room back home and what's going on. We have a
All right. The network wouldn't let you talk. Okay. So
me.
your
It's
network,
better.
the Pansat. Hello.
Yeah, my network. I'm up in the mountains. To make a long story
People can
short,
hear you. We're not seeing you, but we can hear you.
So go ahead.
back in. Okay, let me dial back in.
All right. Mr. Hunt, then go ahead with your thoughts while Pansat tries to rejoin us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Just go straight on.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
I had a little. I came like 30 minutes ago on the program, but I had some of the issues. So my only contribution.
You know what? Let me
that,
quickly use the opportunity to replay this video, and I'll repeat the statement I made, and then we'll go ahead. So take a listen to the
Time for
video
us to just put the imperial hat back on to say we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is it.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold
making
on a
their
second.
country
Hold on.
better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. Because if you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, the people of Africa, the people of Latin America, a lot of them deserve better.
This is not the video will lead to our argument today. If you hear me, Mr. Hunt, and we'll come back this video up with waiting, a once in a while apartheid leader for South Africa, a white man will be, a pro, will be a racist, being talk about blacks. See what in a talk, make I read the quote. He say, black people cannot rule themselves because they don't have the brain and mental capacity to govern a society. Say blacks don't get the brain and mental capacity to govern a society. And he says, give them guns, they will kill themselves. Give them power, they will steal all the government's money. Give them independence and democracy, they will use it to promote tribalism, ethnicity, bigotry, hatred, killings, and wars. So, and then we went on with what's going on in our country. What part of waiting will be say this man talk now will be say sound like lies? And if the things he said not true, why it be say not true? What is really our problem in Africa? Why we can't govern ourselves? Go ahead, Hunt, very quickly, so that I bring back Mr. Pansat.
I will agree and disagree with you.
So go ahead.
I will agree in the fact that, look, colonization is a common thing. America was colonized by the people. So are other European countries. Roman colonized the Jewish, they colonized the Middle East, they colonized Europe, the Roman Empire. So colonization is not an excuse. Slavery started before it came to Africa. The Jews were taken as slaves. Europeans were taken as slaves by the Romans. So black people are very good at creating excuses to their incapability of governing themselves. And the system is designed not to work. Let me start with Nigeria. The minimum wage of an average Nigerian is not a livable wage. You can't beat a child and ask the child not to cry. When you design a system that impoverishes the people, they are bound not to follow rules and regulations because one has to survive. We that live abroad, we
So are you done? Mr. Hunt, I think his network again is bad. It be like saying village people network will come here today. All right, Pansat, let's have you back. Let's see if we can hear you too. Mr. Pansat, you're back, sir. Mr. Pansat, can you hear us? You're back. Go ahead. Go ahead, you're back. We need to hear you. Kindly unmute yourself. Mr. Pansat, kindly unmute yourself and go ahead.
I'm only going to be here a couple of minutes.
Yes, so just go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead,
That
please.
speech.
Mr. Pansat, can you hear us? You're back. Please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Very well. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
can hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, look, so the person who made this statement before was P.W. Botha in 1985. In 1985, P.W. Botha made the speech that blacks cannot govern themselves. Yeah, I have a delay, so.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Anyway, I won't mess up your show. I'll come back tomorrow. I'm up in the mountains here. So go ahead with the show. I'll make the statement. Look at P.W. Botha's speech, and it's the way it is. Let's put it that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So, Tiwa, you wanted to say something. Olu, you're back here with us. I don't know if you have something else to say, but just go ahead.
Let Olu, has he spoken?
Olu? I think he spoke earlier. Olu, you have something to add to what you said earlier? Okay, because I need to call it today. It's already 2 hours into the
Yeah, sorry. Maybe you have to put a slot for us.
So Hunt, you're back. Hunt, if you can wrap up your thoughts in 3 minutes maximum. Hunt, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I am driving, so I used to have a network.
You get Obodo for your network, the worry me within Nigeria.
Because I'm driving. I'm at work. I'm a truck driver. So
make I tell you say no, they perfect anywhere, but it's okay. Just go.
No, it's not more. I'm driving. So, like I was saying, the system is designed not to work. If you watch most of the governors that is the campaign to the ruling party, it's because of they have skeleton, they are covered. If you watch politicians that are supporting this ruling party, it's because they have things.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Olu, if you can hear me, if you can in 1 minute.
Hello, Precious.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So, see, I beg to differ with Tony. Tony, I've listened to him a couple of times on different platforms, and I do respect your view and your contributions. But in this area, you know what? I disagree with you in so many ways. See, maybe perhaps what you're disagreeing with is maybe the way the American guy worded it. You understand? Maybe um, going back to the recolonization that we used to know, where we were treated with disrespect. You understand? But I am looking for a relationship that is in the kind of level where we are right now as immigrants, where we are treated as equals. Because let's be honest with ourselves, these resources that are bound in our land, we really don't know how to utilize them. We don't know how to use it. They know how to use it. They know how to utilize it, unfortunately. But what we should be doing is negotiating. Let them pay a fair share for those resources. We can learn from them on how to utilize these resources. When we should have learned to be self-independent, truly self-independent technologically, we lost it. Our leaders who should have led the way were busy stealing and robbing us and raping us dry. We were fighting ourselves for resources that we will not take to wherever, to heaven or to our graves, and we went the better for it. So we need to sit down and be honest with ourselves. We can't use it. They know how to use it better than we do. So we can ask for them to pay a fair share. You understand? This is what Senegal, Niger, and all the other countries are doing right now. Unfortunately, we've lost time. You understand? So, but the way we are right now, whether we like it or not, I'm looking at our country. I don't even want to speak to with respect to other African countries. I'm looking at our country right now. It has been captured by criminals. You understand? If a man like Tinubu, that shows you how criminal that guy is, can use Yoruba nation to scam a whole people, to scam his own very ethnic group. I'm sorry for you or all other folks. After his 8 years in 2031, they're going to hand over power to another rogue, another northern rogue, and the cycle continues. And you are telling me that we don't need an intervention. We need intervention, my brother. I don't know. We need some kind of intervention. The people will protest through civil disobedience, through protests. They will be killed. They will be jailed. And they will be treated like trash. And you are telling me that we don't need something that is a lot more forceful to reset that place for us. I mean, I in a way I agree with him, but we have to be when they come and take over our resources, they can use it for a certain percentage, pay them, pay us a fair market value for those resources. But we want those resources to be used for the benefit of our people. And if our own if our own leaders will not do it, I don't care who's going to do it. I don't care. That's just my own take.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Olu. I appreciate you big time. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. Tiwa Danjuma, now me you don't remain there last now. Yeah, make I let you finish up.
Yeah, make a round up. Dubai doesn't have any resources. It's just an emirate in United Arab Emirates.
Exactly. I remember they don't practice democracy. So do you
don't have anything.
It just
took one person. They just took one person who defined a vision and say, yeah, you do this for me, you do this for me, and he brought the money. You don't necessarily need to learn. You can get people to do jobs for you. That's how it's done in the whole world. But you see, Nigerians have, some of us have, amazed me. You had an election, you had a choice to make who you want as a leader, and you chose the person that you want, and you're complaining. We don't have, so that's part of the problem. That's why I said, if we want to discuss leadership, we can make it a full day and we can discuss leadership. Because there's a reason why our country is the way it is. It's not because we don't have people who can turn this country around. It is because we, or some of us, have decided to keep a blind eye to those things that will advance our nation. That's the critical issue. And we would like to go and be conniving with the Igbo people and so on and to wreck us. That's why I took the example of the North. This is something that was sold to them. That's not how we're operating. That you don't need to go to school. That Western education is haram. Meanwhile, the person who is talking to you is a medical doctor. But he's pushing forward and supporting those people who say Western education is not good. So there are so many contradictions. We know the reason why our country is not moving forward. We are just lying to ourselves. We know that good leadership can turn around Nigeria. We know that Nigeria has the resources. We know that Nigeria has the people. Obasanjo had to look for all around the world to look for people who can move our country forward. And it didn't matter who you were, what ethnic group you came. He begged them, he went and brought them. And you may not like Obasanjo. There are one or two things that he did, even though we cannot say that he's a saint. But the point is that there has to be a vision. There has to be a particular vision. Today, the country doesn't have a vision. It's just drifting. Look at the people that you are appointing as ambassadors. You can name 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and you can see their character. They are going to speak for you. Look at the people who are your ministers. You can name 3 or 4 or 5, and you can see them. You can look at the people who are governors. Some of them are people who were sentenced, who were found guilty either in Europe or America or so and so. They are the people leading.
And it's a problem. People don't complain. Say why we say most, quite a number of people will get political position for our countries don't get one crime record somewhere before.
Yes.
Is that fraud? They don't do one thing.
Are you surprised now when they now put?
Why they like that?
Are you surprised now when they now put in your constitution that if you falsify or you steal or you're a criminal or something, it doesn't matter that you can
contest the election, the outcome?
Yes. Are you surprised? Can you be surprised? Are you surprised that so Precious? We know the issue. What I'm trying to say is it's not the fact. Yes, the black people, and again, when I said that, you also have to look at our trajectory. Particularly those of us that went through. The black man has suffered most in the world. Now, I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm not making an excuse because there are those who also suffered. Over 500 years of slavery. Even before the white man came, there was a trans-Saharan trade. There was a trans-Saharan trade. Then there was a transatlantic trade. Then there was a Indian trade that was also going on, East Africa, down across. And then you now had, when that one was almost finishing, then you had the industrial revolution, and then you now had the partition, and then you had colonization, and then followed by new colonization, imperialism. So, but that's not an excuse, but what I'm saying is that when other continents were progressing, when our resources were frittered that were taken to develop Europe and so on, our own country, was the progress that we ought to have made was disturbed, distorted. The virile young men who were supposed to help develop the economy, society was totally disintegrated. But that's not that's said. What have we done since we gained independence? That's another question altogether, because we haven't done well. So I concede to that, but the point I'm making is that we must draw a line between not having the intellectual capacity and and failure for us to use the God-given resources to move our country forward. They are two different issues. We have failed, and we're still failing. But even then, when we have the opportunity to even elect those who will help us, we refuse. We keep a blind eye, and we're complaining. How can you be complaining? How can you be complaining that they're killing you in the north? People are complaining they're killing them, but you give them money, you sponsor them, you interact with them, you know them. I can't understand that. How can the government say it's fighting Boko Haram and is giving them ransom and is allowing them and is training them and is treating them with kid gloves? They're killing your soldiers. They're killing you. How are you going to move forward? The resources of the nation that would have been used for development is being frittered away and to fight wars and so on. Some of them are going to people's private pocket, and when you cross over to APC, they forgive you. It can work that way now. It can work. And there's a way. Nigeria is supposed to be a model for Africa. So they're looking at you. Nigeria is also spoiling some other African countries by the example that they show. You were chairman of ECOWAS. How can even ECOWAS looking for a leader? They don't see any other leader. I don't want to say things that I will say here and I put you in trouble, put myself in trouble. But you see, we have to stand for something. Because if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. That is why people are telling us that you don't have brain, you can't do this one. Yet the same people who don't have brain, when they go outside, some even in Nigeria, are doing great things. So we know there's a leadership question. There's a leadership question. And that's why these people from outside are coming to tell us this thing. We know it, but it's not that we don't have brain or we are born as dollars. We don't have brain. We go to school with them. We beat them in school. They defeat them now. I work in a university. They flog them. Our children, they beat them hands down. Okay? The nurses, the engineers, we're all over the place. But the question is, if you guys are so intelligent and you are so endowed, why is your country like this? Can I, if I want to go back now to Nigeria to run for a councillor, am I going to find 100 million or 30 million to get from? Where am I going to get it? So there is a problem with the system. They emasculated the system. There's a stranglehold. That's why I keep telling you, Precious. I say we have to tear down this system because that's the only way. There's a stranglehold. We have to tear it down and drive them away because they are putting their children to continue the system. So the end result, garbage in, garbage out. That is the truth. When it comes to putting in the right person, we play ethnicity, we play religion. Look at what Gumi is saying now, medical doctor. How can a government know the names of the terrorists, know their location, and they are not able to do anything?
That's gross.
Well, what does it tell you?
That's
incompetence.
That's very hurtful.
Will this happen in any place where democracy is working? The government would have gone. Everybody would have impeached them. They would have driven them away. But you still find people who are saying that this government is doing well when you see crow eye. So So someone like Arnold is now telling us, and telling us. So I don't blame them because that's what they see. So make I leave you. That's my point. I'm not saying that there's no corruption or that there's a serious question. But until we are ready to address it honestly and put away, all this mosaic of ethnicity, of religion, and cronyism and all the nepotism and all those things, and merit. That is very important. That merit. That if my son is from Delta and his cutoff point is 90, and someone else is from Zamfara, his cutoff point is 30, that country cannot make progress. That's unfair, and that country will not develop. That's my point. Thank you.
White and Juma, appreciate you. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And I just hope that we'll all learn from this and not just do better, but begin to think of creative ways where we so could better our continent. Because no matter how we run, go to another place, we just have one continent to call our own. And it's time we started it's time we held our leaders accountable to waiting we want them to be. We cannot keep hiding under and the way they want them. Oh, they didn't even want us. Oh, it is Lord Lugard. This Lord Lugard, now cause I'm like this. Oh, now the British makeup. Oh, for how long do we keep blaming them? How long will we continue to blame another person for our own woes? How about the countries we don't manage? They better a little bit. Things that are easy, the most basic thing like security we cannot give. No hospital, no water. That is, there's no one aspect of development who will say these parts will give them good hand. Light, no day. All the things, indices of development, we say we supposed to get. I don't understand. No light, no water. Standard of living is zero. People can barely earn a living, a decent living. When you put peg minimum wage at 70,000 naira, based on the cost of living for Nigeria, ask yourself, how that 70,000 naira would likely fit cater for a normal one human being in 1 month, and tell me why there won't be corruption in the country. So when we have a wage that breeds corruption or that encourages corruption, but only the wage as it stands in this country, and only politicians them, their wage is 950 sufficient. Or maybe judicial workers only increase by 300% during that time. Doctors are crying, nurses are crying, teachers, I don't even want to talk about it. The military, the police, the security, everybody, they cry, the money they reach them. Haba. This same world where we say we inside, we have people who earn a living as cleaners, and through cleaning job, they comfortable. They take care of their family. They can even buy a car through cleaning on mortgage, and they manage their life. But in Africa, it's a different ballgame entirely. It is only in Africa where you see affluence and abject poverty side by side, stupendous affluence and abject poverty side by side. And if you trace the history, if you trace the money from that, stupendous wealth, your country money, our commonwealth follow inside. How about now? We can do better and we can demand better from our leaders. Honestly, I felt very pained hearing that, and also seeing a lot of comments under the post where I saw that it is actually true and we want that to happen. And I feel like, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us if not that we have had leaders who failed us, both in the past and present? How can we be like this? How can Nigeria go from top 3 or top 4 most developing countries in the world to right now we don't be backseat? Number 1 economy for Africa. Right now we don't be backseat. Number 4, don't they go 5 step for Africa? Are we okay? Should it not just be about upward trajectory, upward movement? What did they do us? And then in the midst of all of this, you cannot open your mouth to say that things are going bad. They say, oh, you're painting the government bad. So is it about to make a particular government look good, or is it about the reality on ground? Should it be about making sure a government doesn't look bad, or the reality on ground? Haba. I don't tire, Jerry. I just thought to bring this up, and I hope that we ponder on this and begin to understand that we deserve more, much more than we're allowing ourselves to get in Africa. And we should press our leaders to give us more. And then the good people, them, you don't reach on a turn to enter inside government. You guys get involved in governance. Because we hear say if plenty good people they involved for governance, they go overwhelm the bad. I think Bolaji Abdullah, he don't talk am here. So when we have enough good people involved, they go overwhelm the bad people. And the bad people they will just shame come out. So how about the good ones? See what Natasha is suffering in the Senate because she did like a lonely voice.
She did like a lone voice for Senate. She can't even say much. They would deprive her from attending a conference of women and rather use a man to replace her, all because of waiting. I must show you that I have more power than you. The powers we have in Africa, we rather use it against to oppress ourselves, which is exactly what Williams-Both has said that we're all shouting about. Both talk what we shout about. We'll use our power, oppress each other, instead of us to use and develop ourselves. Good night, Nigerians. God bless you. Kindly like, subscribe. Please like and share this post and subscribe to this platform if it's your first time of joining us. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm thinking of bringing someone on the show tomorrow, and I'll let you in on it. I love you guys, but in all of this, please protect your mental health, because then if you worry about Nigeria problems small, you sleep, worry about them another day again. I love you. Good night, and God bless you. Good night.